Orlando has turned on 2 magical weekends of Monster Energy AMA Supercross and FIM World Championship. 2 really great Saturday nights. Hi folks, Leigh Diffey and the GOAT, Ricky Carmichael, along with Will Christien, just reliving on what was an enjoyable night here at Camping World Stadium. I want to say that you pointed it out right at the beginning of our broadcast, Ricky, that what we should look for is that Cooper Webb is coming on. You see the attributes in this 2019 champion that is going to make this title race tight and tough for Ken Roczen. It happened. Cooper Webb swept the Orlando meets. He got the double here and just at the moment seems unstoppable. Yeah, and he took a fair chunk out of Ken Roczen's points lead, and I think he's catching fire. I know what he's capable of. We all know what he's capable of. He's a 2019 Monster Energy Supercross Championship. There's the stats as of tonight here. So a lot to look forward to, and it's just really going to force these 2 guys to be picture perfect. That's what it's going to come down to. Who can be the most consistent? And right now, I feel like Cooper Webb has a momentum, but I'm also extremely pleased at what I've seen from Ken Roczen aboard that factory HRC Honda all season long. He's been great, and honestly, if this was his worst or a bad night for him, not too bad. Not too bad, because he staged a remarkable comeback. Let's go to the highlights, and we'll walk you through them. Because it was an interesting one, that is for sure. Roczen got boxed in off the start. See him right back there in the rear. Yeah. And that's what caused this big comeback ride. Yeah, he did, and he made a couple clutch moves here early on. Didn't really lose that much track position on the group of 5 guys in the top 5. So that was good, but this was the pass for the lead. Adam Cianciarillo on that Monster Energy Kawasaki had the lead for quite a while in the early stages. His old sparring partner from the young days, the amateur days, yep. Cooper Webb, came up and executed that pass nicely, and that was it. Webb took off after that. He did. He brought it on home to the finish line, and Adam tried to get back by him there, but 2 of Cooper Webb kind of closed the door on him. So the Roczen comeback story continued as he just kept checking them off, past Vince Parisi, past Malcolm Stewart. He had to work hard for this one. Yeah, he did. I mean, he had to work hard. The further up the pack that you get, the harder it is to make passes. But he did get a little gift there from Martin Davalos, kind of tied up Eli Tomac, and that allowed Ken to get by. So that was extremely helpful. And this was a rough crash by the number 9 of Adam Cianciarillo. He just hit that first whoop a little bit too fast. Let's hope he's okay. Yeah, that one was not pleasant to watch. And what it did is it set up a Red Bull KTM 1-2 because Marvin Musquin followed his teammate Cooper Webb home. That is win number 14, and it's his 3rd of this year. And then when you put Justin Barsha on the podium, it's all 3 bikes come under the KTM ownership structure. Pretty successful night for the Austrian company. So the points, Ricky mentioned it just a few moments ago, it's gone from 13 to 6 in just 2 race weekends. Eli Tomac holds on to 3rd. Barsha is elevated to 4th, and Musquin is elevated to 5th. So a little bit of movement there. We want to welcome in Will Christien, who saw this firsthand here tonight. What do you make of this ever-intriguing championship battle between Ken Roczen and Cooper Webb?
Well, Leigh, we said right at the beginning of the night, didn't we, today, that, you know, hold on to your seats here because things are going to get even more interesting, and they are. Everything's tightened up just that little bit more. I think the momentum's the key thing here, isn't it? Ricky, you're like a fortune teller. You obviously know what's going on here, right? And you said it was going to happen, and it has. And that momentum right now seemingly has swung, just like you guys have said. And there's a guy in the pack here, rider in the pack, who's going to want it to start swinging his way a little bit, because we saw there the reigning champion, Eli Tomac, now 31 points behind. He came in behind Roczen and Webb there tonight, so that gap has opened up. But we are going into Daytona, which is a great track for him. He's Mr. Daytona. He's won the last 2 years there. He's won 4 years out of 5. One more win there, Ricky, and I believe he ties your win numbers there at Daytona. So You'd like to think, if you're part of the team there over at Monster Energy Kawasaki, if the swing's going to happen, if he's going to make something happen, that perhaps, in 2 weeks there in Daytona, that will be the time to do it. And he does have a week off in between there, perhaps to reset. Maybe if the team feel they need to work on anything, they have a little bit of time to do that. And he's going to want to come out swinging. And it was interesting tonight because I feel like we just suddenly had a few more players in there. We've seen what Justin Bosch is capable of. And then tonight, he came back in and said, no, I'm still here in the mix. We saw he taken that fourth spot on the points there. And Jason Anderson, seemingly not out of nowhere. We've kind of seen this build, but tonight was definitely the night when he went, you know what, I'm gonna change things. I'm gonna change sort of the narrative of my season here and start to really get in the mix and start running up front there. So anything can happen still, right? That's what we love about this kind of racing.
There's lots happening behind you too.
Yes, breaking down a lot of dirt right now. I'm trying to stay out of the way.
All right, let's turn to 250s because this was a thrilling night for the season opener for 250 West. We had this beautiful blend of seasoned riders who were still searching for that elusive championship, and then you just had this plethora of youngsters coming out of the amateur ranks, making their pro debuts with just super talent.
Yeah, a lot of things happening, and the biggest thing that stands out to me, not only Justin Cooper's win, that doesn't stand out to me as much as how well the rookie Seth Hamaker was riding aboard that Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki. Really, really impressive ride. Hard to do that, and his poise that he had is what really I was impressed with. It was a bummer to see Alex Martin and Jeremy Martin go down and go out and not finish the main events. Hopefully they'll be okay, but yeah, a lot to look forward to. And you think about the Monster Energy Star Yamaha Racing team, a lot of what we saw in the 250 East, same thing on a 250 West. Doing
it on both coasts, aren't they? All right, let's take you to the highlights. There was so much to look forward to in this season opener. Riders on new teams, new gear, new bikes, etc. However, the opening lap, watch bike 6, Jeremy Martin, it would all end right here in a really aggressive and unfortunate situation where he got jumped on.
Yeah, by Styles Robertson right there, the 67 Rockstar Husqvarna lands right onto the back of like the shoulder blade. You can see Jeremy's grabbing it, his arm, knew something was right, didn't even attempt to pick his motorcycle up. Hate seeing that, he was riding well.
The race was red flagged because Jeremy's brother Alex, he went down as well and needed attention from the Alpine Stars medical team. He was in a lot of pain there for a while, so a really unfortunate thing because the Martin brothers hadn't raced each other. There'd been an absence in their competition against each other for about 7 years. They were so excited to race each other in a main event again, and they did, but for a very short period of time. But for Justin Cooper, hey, you said the words. You said you could have watched this guy ride all day and night. He was so smooth out in front, and there was nobody even close.
Well, there wasn't. I mean, and he was just really spectacular. I mean, didn't even look like he was trying. When you're doing that, you know your comfort level is at an all-time high. And Joey Crown, look at that.
Oh boy! Oh boy! He almost got jumped on. That was on the last lap, believe it or not. So it was a close call for Justin Cooper. But he mirrors what he did at Anaheim 1 a year ago to get the season opener 250 West main event win. Cameron McAdoo aboard the Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki got second, and Garrett Marchbanks in his new ride aboard a Yamaha as well gets third. Jalek Swall and Hunter Lawrence in the top 5. So there was lots going on. There were a lot of riders who will want to kind of reset and have another go at Daytona because it didn't work out quite the way that they had hoped. But there were so many cool things going on there, and we're going to see a lot more of that, of course, because 250 East Championship is on a more than a 2-month break. So, Will, we were talking about what there was to look forward to, the established riders versus the rookies. What got your attention?
Well, you guys have covered it there with Justin Cooper. I think that's, everything he was perhaps expecting. He'd alluded to it being his turn, if you like, a few times. So maybe he's going to stamp his mark early on this championship. I'm curious if we're going to see Jeremy Martin, if he's okay, and if we're going to see him back and fighting here. At least he has a little bit of extra time if there is a lingering injury there to try and get over that. So is this going to be that Star Racing Yamaha kind of chase that you said, Ricky, that we've seen on the East Coast there? But if we go a little bit deeper deeper down there, especially if you look at our podium tonight. Cameron McAdoo. A lot of people had their eye on him coming into this thinking, is he going to get in the mix here? What's he capable of doing? And tonight we see him with a podium. And rounding out that podium, Garrett Marchbanks. Now, Garrett Marchbanks took his first 250 win in Daytona again, which obviously is going to be the next round that we go into, last year. So, and since then, so much has happened. Injuries, he lost his ride there with Pro Circuit Kawasaki. And he's back with a vengeance this year with Club MX there. And he wants to make his mark. He wants to say, hey, you missed out not having me on the team here. This is what I'm capable of. And he started it out tonight with their first round there for 250 West by getting a podium. And you could just see down on the floor here, I don't know if you guys caught it on camera, the team were just ecstatic. You could see how proud they were of him. And maybe they're surprised, maybe they're not. Maybe they knew this is what he was capable of. He has said how happy he is on the bike, and he said how good the bike is and how he feels like he's going to be competitive on it. And tonight he threw himself heavily in the mix. I mean, it was a shame to see so many, unfortunately, of the 250 riders, they're out. But again, we said, we got 2 weeks here. Hopefully we'll get them back healthy in Daytona.
Yeah, and Garrett Marchbanks saying, I'm the first to acknowledge we're a privateer team, but I'm going to show them. Yeah. And he did.
Yeah. He rode fantastic, and then going to Daytona where he got his first win is going to be something special to see, and that would be huge if he could win on that team.
For sure. So, especially for the 450 teams and crews and riders, they are looking forward to a weekend off, and that is coming up. That's happening because the next race weekend is 2 weeks away. Saturday, March 6th, you'll see live and continued coverage on Peacock. And then we'll see you right here on NBC SN at 7 p.m. Eastern for that 9th round for the 450s, for the second round of 250 West. And for those riders who had a bit of a rough night tonight, they'll enjoy that weekend off to let their body heal and repair. We'll see you at Daytona.
Hi, I'm Will Christien, and thank you all so much for watching. I'm here to remind you to hit subscribe for all the latest Supercross news and highlights. And of course, don't forget to sign up for Peacock Premium. That is now the new home for streaming for all live Supercross events all season long.